Hey guys, I just thought I'd make a video today. I was feeling like it, so I don't always feel like it, but my mom's gone and I might have time to just really talk and not worry about my voice being low and talking like this, like I have to do. Today I can just talk and be myself. I The rough thing with me that I've been watching lately, and I wanted to comment on it, is I'm seeing a lot of. I don't want to make too many red pill, black pill videos anymore in that sense of, the Manosphere and all that. I'm kind of trying to move away from a lot of that. I'll use some of the terms sometimes because it helps you to kind of talk about day-to-day female-male relations. But I mean, I've noticed, but I thought I'd do this today because this impacted my life, and it's kind of odd to me. And I don't know if any of y'all have noticed this, but I've noticed in the Manosphere and in the red pill, not as much the black pill yet, but in the red pill sphere, I guess if you want to call it that, there's a lot of female content creators now, and that seems awful weird to me. Because I worry about the message getting diluted. You know what I mean? And watered down, and maybe even disappearing one day. We had this kind of thing happen with the traditional conservatives, the Christian conservatives, they call it the term was called the trad con. And you had a lot of this with women invading that space first. And they kind of became known as the term trad thought. That's what a lot of them called them online, because I think people believed they weren't being genuine. And that they, it seemed like they were just doing this to get clicks and get likes. And they didn't mean what they were saying. And that they also weren't living this, life. They weren't being a trad con woman. They weren't being, wouldn't being a trad con wife. They weren't being anything like that. And it started with kind of Lauren Southern. I'm sure you guys remember Lauren Southern. I'm not picking on her or anything. She's just one of them, and that were several. And you're still seeing this, where she's talking about the end of the West, and be a trad con woman, and that's the way you should be, and women should be that way. That's what I'm gonna be, and it's like, well, and she is now, as far as I can tell, but it's like you weren't doing that for a long time. I mean, you were a career woman, and you were hanging out with, making your videos and making your documentaries with men that were homosexual. I know a few of them. And I'm not picking on them for that just because of doing that. I mean, it's just, you're not living a TradCon life, and you're sitting here telling, well, I think these women should live like that, and I think, it's like, well, you're not. And I think that's the thing, and that is sort of a do as I say, not as I do, but, I don't like that. And I don't think a lot of guys like that. And I'm seeing a lot of this now. Like I said, not as much in the black pill circles yet, but you're seeing it now in the red pill, where you're getting these women pop up. And and they're, spouting basically they're just rehearsing the same old messages, that we all know. Those of us who've been around this for a while, that we know, but it's women saying it and not men. And at first when I saw it, I thought, well, I mean, some good could come from this, because, this, I've always said, until women start thinking this, it's not going to matter. Men can talk to each other all day, and I do think men should be warned of these things. But, I mean, until women really start doing this and living this way, it's not going to matter. It's just not. And I think that's, a problem that we're kind of getting into with these women invading this space. At first I thought, well, maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe they're really believing this and changing. But it's like, no, several of them aren't. One girl, she's, her channel's talking about, being a, red-pilled, and these women are living horrible lives, and you're right, you don't want to marry these women, and women, you need to change. And yet she's tatted up, and I know you can't just take that away like a nose ring. If you're using a piercing, you can just not wear it anymore. Or, if you put, lots of trampy makeup on, you can just stop doing that. You can't do that with a tattoo. I understand that, but that's what I mean. I mean, here you are living like that. I know her hair used to be cut real short. Now she's starting to let it grow out again. I think she's trying to now do the traditional thing, and she's trying to be more of a woman that a red pill man would want, so she's letting her hair grow out, and it's just like, there was this other woman, like I said, I'm not going to mention the names because I can't remember them, so I don't want to get the names wrong, but there was this other woman, I looked at her a little bit, and it's like, she was claiming the same thing, and it turns out, I think she's I don't remember if she was a lesbian, or if she's transsexual, or I can't remember. It was something like that. But I'm thinking, there we go again. Here's these women spouting all this stuff, and are they even being truthful? And I don't know. It's just odd. It's odd to me. And I think they are. I think what's happening is a lot of these women are jumping on the bandwagon to make a name for themselves. They see that this stuff is popular. They see that, this stuff can get you a lot of likes on YouTube and maybe what all they're on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know what all these things are. TikTok, obviously. I know a lot of them now are on TikTok. And it's just like, I think they're just doing this to make money. And I'm thinking, here's my problem with this. And I'll get to, let me get to, before I say what my problem is, another thing that I think is a problem. And this is the fault of us as men. Not me, but a lot of us. And the problem is, these women, some of their channels have not been going that long. It ain't like they've been doing these channels for like 8 years, or 5 years. And people like, and I'm just talking about in general, Manosphere creators, like, let's say Todd, Grotesque Subhuman, before his channel got kicked off. I found that kind of funny, he got kicked off. But anyway, he's been doing this for a long time. He don't get hardly any views. Same thing with me. I've been making videos about some of this stuff for a while before I finally stopped, and I didn't get a lot of views. And, I noticed then you get the bigger channel people, like Sandman. It took him a very long time in the MGTOW circles to really start making a name for himself. Better Bachelor, if you've seen him, same thing with him. It took these guys a while to really get noticed by most, men online to start really being influential. And it's like, these women pop up and they already have way more viewers than them. They have way more likes than them. They have way more. And I'm thinking, here we go again. Men following women. They did the same thing with the trad cons, or like I said, as they call it, the trad thoughts. And they did the same thing again. And some of these women will get on there showing their cleavage and looking all hot and sexy. And it's just like, come on. And then some of them like feminists. And it's just like, they're just doing this to get likes and doing the, I think some of them are. I hate to say that, but I do think that's what it is. And men are following these women. And I agree with Martin Goldberg in the black pill circle. He's been talking about, in the red pill circles that this is happening. Tons of women content creators. Martin Goldberg talked about it. Now, Better Bachelor made a video. From the more MGTOW sphere, he made one talking about this. And I'm with them. I think this is a bad trend. That women are just going to take over the manosphere because of the YouTube, the YouTube and social media algorithms. They're just going to jump on here. And I don't know, man. It's odd that men just keep doing this. It's like they're just fantasizing about having these women. And I think it's because the women tell them what they want to hear. It's the sub 5 guys, and the normies, of course, are following them. I'm sure it's the sub 5 guys the most. And it's like, you're blowing up these channels, making these women very popular and wealthy. I mean, I'm sure many of them are making good money now, on these channels. And it's like, guys, what are you doing? Because here's my problem with it. I don't make videos dealing with the red pill, the black pill, and all that. I don't do a lot of that anymore. But I owe many of those content creators through the years with saving my life. There's no doubt they did. When I first found the red and the black pill, or I'd say mainly the red pill back in those days, through Roosh V and others back in 2013, I mean, it saved my life, man. I was in a bad way at the time I found those. I was feeling worthless as a man. I, of course, didn't know the truth. I thought it was just me, that I was a bad person, that I was a weirdo, and what in the world's wrong with me? Why can't I get women? This is just ridiculous, and women seem to lie, but I can't close the deal. What's the problem? I mean, come on, man. My ancestors through thousands of years have reproduced to bring me to this point, and it's like, what's the problem? Blah, 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 And when I found that, it saved me because I believed it was all my fault. Knowing that I was a good man, but I still blamed myself. I thought it was all me, and they were, no, it's not all you. It's a lot of factors. Society, women themselves, feminism, technology, and they were, and you had to learn, but as you watched, those men were telling the truth and speaking the truth, and many of them didn't even show their faces back then because they knew they'd get in a lot of trouble. If they showed who they were, it could hurt their employment, it could hurt, because back then you couldn't make a lot of money on YouTube and all that, and these guys were just doing this because they cared. And doing this because they were angry and they wanted to tell the truth, and warn other men and explain to them what's wrong. And like I said, many of them wouldn't even show their face. The older content creators didn't show their face. None of them except Roosh V did back when he was doing his channel. And that's because somebody found him out. And he just started showing his face online. But before then, when he used to do, back before you had YouTube, he did his blog, and nobody knew who he was. He was DC Bachelor. That was his the name of his blog. And I'm thinking, here's what all these men sacrificed, and they did. They sacrificed. Some of them got caught, lost their careers, lost their jobs, and now these women are just going to swoop in here. Many of them I've heard. Like I said, I'm not going to name names because I don't know them enough to name their names, but I know somebody said that one of the content creators now that's making all kinds of Manosphere, the red pill and all this, that she used to hammer all that stuff. And I'm thinking, well, now all of a sudden she's just changed, and now she's just a big fan. And I know I'm a Christian. I believe in forgiveness, that yes, you can change, but I mean, I don't know, to change like that, and now all of a sudden you're making these videos and you're just a big fan, and, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem much different than a lot of these TikTok girls that go online and they're making all kinds of money, or these OnlyFans and all that stuff. It to me seems like the same thing. It's just now they're doing red pill because they know a lot of them guys will subscribe to them. They can make a lot of money on YouTube and others. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know what you guys think, but like I said, the trad thoughts, as they called them, invaded the TradCon area, and now it seems like women are starting to invade the red pill area. And now you wonder, when are they going to invade the black pill area? It's going to come pretty soon. That some woman somewhere is going to start doing this. And it's like, I don't know, are men just going to fall for that and start following her? And, all thinking, oh, yeah, she's a good traditional. It's like, come on, man. And be honest, guys. I want to get a traditional one. No, you don't. I mean, you'll take it, of course, and that's because you can't live with, the other one. But let's be honest, you all would be Chad if you could. We all know that, okay? And I would. That's why, when I made the videos, is it fun to have all that attention? Yeah, it is. And think about it, a woman gets it way more than somebody like me gets it. And, just be honest, you want to be a Chad too. And, you're these guys are just, to me, just to be honest, they're simping for these women. That's just what it seems like to me. And I know I could be wrong. But I think everybody watching these channels, they're simping for these women, and I'm worried that the TradCon, the red pill, and I think eventually the black pill will all get watered down and maybe even disappear. Because women are invading the space and men are just going along with it. You know, and following them way more than they did the men. And I think of all those men in the past that paved the way, that worked very hard at this, and like I said, saved the lives of people like me. And saved the lives of others. I remember I was watching an old Rollo Tomasi video. And, you know, he's another one. I mean, he's been at it for a long time. And some of those women content creators, they've done past him. I mean, good grief, this guy's been at this for, God, 10, 13, 14 years. And I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. But he was making a video one time where people could call in on his show, you know, via video, and a guy called in, and I mean, he was literally in tears, talking about, you know, he'd been married before, you know, didn't know all this stuff, got married, got taken to the cleaners by his wife, got cheated on, got kicked out of the house, you know the old thing, the divorce rape stuff, and that he almost did it again, and that he found Rollo stuff, and he thanked him because, you know, he blamed himself, you know, and thought, am I just a bad husband, blah, 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 and he was almost crying, thanking Rollo, you know, and even Rollo kind of, you could tell it was kind of, whoa, that was even heavy for him, you know, he was kind of like, wow, you know, you don't realize how much this stuff helps people, and he went, oh, you know, and even he got kind of quiet, like, yeah, you know, I'm really sorry, you know, I'm glad I could help, you know, and that's what I'm saying, man. You know, these guys did a lot, and it helped a lot of us, because men didn't know this stuff. Men didn't have a clue. They didn't know, you know, they didn't have no clue. They didn't know that women were like this. They didn't know the red pill and the black pill. They didn't know any of this. And then many of them got taken to the cleaners, man. And, you know, I don't know, I just don't want to see this go away, because men are starting to simp for women, and women figured this out, and they know, oh, I can just go on here and make a bunch of stupid red pill and TradCon videos, and then I'll get globs of followers, and I'll just get, you know, I don't want to see that, and I'm worried it's coming, and I do think somebody's going to try to invade the black pill, and I just don't think this is good. But guys, give me your opinion. What do you think about this? Have you noticed a lot of this? And I hope you're not. I really do hope you're not following these female channels. I watched them because I wanted to see what they were talking about. And boy, after that, I thought, nah, no way. And I didn't subscribe to them, and I didn't, you know, I didn't give them likes or anything. So, but yeah, I just wanted to know your opinions on this, if you agreed with me. And that's about all I got to say on the subject. I'd like to see comments, but take care, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.